All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 10K Bets live show. Per usual, I am your host, Marlo, joined by a couple usual suspects as well as a new face. If you guys do not know what this show is, it's basically a participation show. You guys want to come chat along about your sports bets. You want to talk about bad beats. You want to talk about how dog shit Minnesota sports is. This is your show. We will gladly get you involved. We will pin your comments at the bottom. You just had to head over to our Facebook or head over to YouTube. If you're on Twitter, we can't see shit. Sorry, it's just how it works. But head over to our YouTube, smash that subscribe button. Renzi Boy loves it when you smash that subscribe button. Like that bad boy as well, too. But this show, we are here to talk about bad bets and terrible weekends and maybe even some W's as well, too. Join with me. We're going to run through it here. We got Sammy stats per usual. We have Josie making his triumphant return back onto the show. We got Renzi Boy and then a brand new face. One person who's been at 10K for a brief little bit here as well, too, but his first debut in front of the camera. You may have read his blogs. Mikey, how the hell are you, buddy? So tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about what you do at 10K. Tell us about, if not, you're a good sports bettor. Should they fade you? Should they ride you? What do you got, man?
Yeah. So I've been with 10K for, a little or close to a year now. Mostly blogging, big football guy. So it's a really tough time of the year for me. Bet a lot of college football, huge NFL guy. So now I'm kind of making that transition into life after football. So we're big into the college hoops right now. And I'm exactly what Vegas wants, 50% better, and they're going to take the juice from me right now. So I'm still finding my feet in college hoops, but found a good amount of value over the weekend, some big dubs. I had the Frogs for a couple of units, so we're just still finding our feet, but we're back into the college game.
It was funny too, as we were talking a little bit before like the show started going, and I would like to make fun of Renzi Boy's background. I think it's hilarious, just the giant Mountain Dew bottle. But I was kind of giving you shit. I was like, you look like you're in like a North Korean train station. I was like, that looks like just propaganda sitting on your back wall. You're in like this white dull room. It just looks really crazy. What the hell is that thing in your background, man?
So that's actually like an enlarged canvas of a ticket stub from the last time the Gophers went to and won a Rose Bowl in 1962. So, yeah, we're still counting those years. PJ, if you're watching this, we would like one sooner rather than later.
Come on, PJ, wake up. Do it so we can update his background and make it not so creepy, please. It's super sad to hear that 1962. It's one of those things you don't like think about all the time. College is such a muddy, like water, like there's just so much out there. Renzi Boy, you're probably hoping for a Tulane W here sooner than later. Hey, after bouncing off of the great college season.
Yeah, I had a good weekend. Hit a lot of college. Tulane didn't win this weekend, unfortunately, but had a good weekend. Hit a couple of good bets. I love our group chat. It was buzzing.
It was going off.
I was out with drinks with some people, and like they're like, "Who's texting you?" Like you've gotten like 90 text messages in like the past 10 minutes. I'm like, it's the boys talking bets. I mean, you got to bounce them off each other. You really do. And
for sure.
Also, Marlo, please stop making fun of the Mountain Dew bottle because I have other cool stuff back here. This cool guy, the wild guy, he's cool. Beer sign. I got a cool backdrop. Not all of us can have free stuff from Spit and Chiclets or wherever you got your
Hey. I like to make impressions on top of it, too. I should brag about my Michelob Golden Light sponsorship. I got the hat on right now. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, that was tight. Congratulations also.
Thank you.
Not everyone knows it's Marlo's birthday.
It is. Thank you. I made it past it. I made it much further in life than I ever thought I would. I was like 30. I'm probably topping out at. I was like, I live such a destructive lifestyle. I'm drinking. I mean, even right now, I'm drinking a Monster, and it's almost 8 o'clock at night. Like I'm just a fucking lunatic. So
that's
I'm falling apart slowly but surely. So sorry, Derek. Hate to disappoint you. We're gonna continue to bore you for the rest of the show. But Renzi Boy, you hit a hot streak there, eh? You ended up going 5 in a row, I think.
Saturday I went 4-1, I think, and mixed in with a little NBA action, and everything. But I was going deep. Like, I think you guys thought I was joking when I bet, like, Southern Illinois University Edwardson. Like, but I hit it. They won by, like, 20. They were, like, -4. But I was just, like, looking at all the bets. And, like, we were talking about over the weekend, ESPN Plus. I'm like, I can watch all of these games with their horrible camera angles and the weird announcers and, like, the gyms that seat, like, 1,000 people. They're electric. Oh,
it's a character bet.
Yeah,
you
it is.
might have been the only person in the entire history of sports betting to ever take that whatever the fuck. I can't even. What was the name of it again?
Southern Illinois University Edwardson, I think it was.
The fuck does that even
Boys,
mean?
those boys were buzzing. Like I said, they won by like 20 something. It was probably the easiest bet I won all weekend.
Yo, shout out Derek here. We got to bring this up real quick. I don't want to like jump away from some of the introductions as well too, but we got to talk a little bit about that Fury fight. Like I'm kind of livid because obviously the number looked good if you were to bet the Fury side of things, but I was like, there's no fucking shot. Because like, I think it's because I've been burned too many times by these things where I'm like, Jake Paul's going to lose one of these. This is not the one I thought he would lose. I should have, but I don't know what it was about it. But I think everyone was riding on, was riding on the Paul brother, right? So shout out credit to Derek. Shit, man, good job on hitting that bad boy.
I didn't watch it because I was going to look into buying it. It was $50. No
Yeah,
thanks.
I didn't touch it either. I was looking for like another stream, couldn't find one.
And Mikey,
Yeah.
I think you threw the message in the chat this morning. You're like, did you guys know that Mayweather fought? It was just
Yeah, that's crazy.
totally trumped. Like nobody fucking talked about the Mayweather fight at all. And the only reason I knew about it is I woke up this morning. I don't know if it's ESPN or whatever the hell it was, but I saw like the photo with both the fighters' hands raised. I was like, oh shit, Mayweather fought. I've never seen that before. That was crazy.
That's crazy. No,
How old is he now?
You know,
Probably my age now, right?
40.
Yeah.
He's got to be in his 40s. But yeah, no, I saw it on a TikTok video where literally just they pan and showed the crowd. There's nobody in there. He's fighting in front of literally 200 people.
I've heard more about Rough and Rowdy coming up on Friday than I have about the Mayweather fight. That was complete news to me. But we got to talk about bad beats though too. Josie, Timberwolves, you're a dipshit. Let's just start there. I remember I was laying in bed. I think you texted it like you texted at 7 or 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
It was like later, like, oh, I got money on the Wolves
right
tonight.
before game time. Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of want to berate him, but I know he's just gonna lose this one, so why whip him while he's down?
Well,
and I just
but,
went right to bed.
Man, Curry sat. Did he not? Well, am I correct on that? He was out for the game.
Yeah, he was out.
Yeah.
And we historically have been at least the last 3 years, we've been very good against this dominant Golden State Warriors team. And so I said, fuck it, let's come up again like Renzi and I did on the Boston Celtics the other night. Screw it. Let's reinvest that money that I just won into this sorry ass excuse of a freaking team.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's anytime you bet on a Minnesota sports team, I always get a little weary. And I'm glad I kind of feel bad. I'm glad I talked to you, Renzi boy, out of betting like that. You were looking at 1.5 on the Wild as well too.
Yeah, I ended up taking the Blue Jackets.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Yeah, yeah, and it won. I
Great
don't
pick.
think I'll bet in favor of the Wild or I know I won't bet the Timberwolves ever again.
Like I said, I'm a huge
Yeah.
Wild guy,
Dead.
but I just can't. Something about that team I can never win any money on as well too. But real quick, I don't like once again don't want to distract away, but Luke here looking for some picks tonight. Any of you boys got anything from Prize Picks? I end up throwing out one bet, nothing to do with Prize Picks. It's just a total fucking shot in the dark. It does have me worried how many people who were riding it as well too. The 3-2 bet that had the fat payout tonight on the Blackhawks Ducks game. I was like, do they not know who I am? Have they not watched this show and not know that I'm just the worst fucking sports bettor in the world? Like I went 1-5 this weekend. I hit on just the most random bet in the world. It was a tough weekend for me. But what do you guys got? Do you guys got any Prize Picks for Luke here?
I would say since the Clippers or no, that's tomorrow night. I was gonna say bet whatever the props are for the Clippers tomorrow night. Fucking Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Russell Westbrook. They're gonna fucking destroy the Timberwolves tomorrow.
Well, there you go, Luke. Look for those bad boys. We can't feed you anything tonight. None of us got any action on anything tonight. But tomorrow, there you go. Wolves are ass cheeks, as you guys
Actually,
see.
depending on where the line is for McKinnon and McDavid shots on goal. I'm not sure where they're sitting at, but they typically get about 5 or 6. So I would definitely look at that if you're looking for Prize Picks. I haven't been on Prize Picks in a few months, but I would always be hitting the McDavid, McKinnon overshots. They're just always playing the power play, the first line, and they know when they're on the ice, they are typically usually have the puck. So yeah, I would go with those two.
I would say because even in playoffs last year, like that's where I made all my money was on shot over totals. Unless you bet on Artemi Panarin, little rat, little scumbag piece of shit, where you can't get 2 shots even though you're the captain. I keep getting in it down this path. So anybody that's like new here is like, oh, go off, King. But anybody else who's listened to the show before is like, shut the fuck up, Marlo. We get it. You don't like Panarin. He's a fucking piece of shit. Can't get two shots when you're the captain of the New York Rangers in a playoff game where you need to win. Fucking just crazy, just absurd. I don't know. Luke, sorry, we wish we can give you some better ones as well, too. But pay attention to 10K bets. Maybe we'll look at throwing out some more prize picks ones tomorrow. I'll take a peek at it to see what's on the board there as well, too. But it's as nice. We're actually getting quite a few comments as well, too. We can kind of dive right in here as well, too, for a few of them. But Sammy Stats, how was your weekend, man? Let's talk to you real quick.
Weekend was really solid, actually. Had 2 or 3 units. I think it was 3 on TCU, +2. Loved that line. I believe Mike took it too. They were on the road, but everyone was on Texas Tech, and it seemed like a pretty good line for TCU. So I'm glad first half hit and then the full game too. So that went well. Arkansas as well had them +8, and they actually had a really good first half. They actually kind of blew it in the second half, like completely. And then they ended up like making it close at the end. I think they lost by 3 maybe. So that was another great one. And then Chris Kirk won the Honda. And I had him top 20 and top 10. I clearly should have took him to win. But it was a really good week. Had a tough beat, but we'll get in that with grievances. But went really well.
Which we'll highlight another comment here as well too. We got someone was saying they got to take it tonight, Edmonton, or I think it was Edmonton tonight. Edmonton versus the Bruins as well too. Bruins themselves, it was my wagon team from the beginning of the year. It was one of those that I picked. Actually, it was funny in July. We've talked about this before as well too. I was told to throw some money in the future, and I'm now going to have I have the ability to throw money on a future. I'm going to be hammering the Bruins, especially because Toronto just picked up a couple more players. I would love to see Boston take it to Toronto this year. Even though I did make a joke, I think it's going to be Toronto's year. They just got to get it out of the first round. So Boston, I'm going to throw a future on that one probably tomorrow. I just found out you can't throw money on futures when games are live, which is I think is weird.
Yeah, you got to wait till it's shot.
Which, whatever, good. I suppose it doesn't matter to me anyways. But we also got to see Boston's goalie score a goal the other night. That was fucking nasty. Cross ice, just sicko mode. It was beautiful. Luke, you're welcome, buddy, as well, too. We will definitely get you some more picks tomorrow if we can help it out as well, too. But let's dive into the only real segment that we have on the show is grievances. If any of you guys are new here and don't know what the hell grievances is, essentially we find something over this past weekend, something that just kind of pissed us off. Sports betting related, real life related, doesn't really matter, but it's just something we fucking hate. So let's start with you, Josie. First grievance of the night. What do you got?
The Minnesota fucking Timberwolves.
Safe one.
Yeah, just the worst franchise in sports in the last 20 years. I don't even know what to fucking say at this point. I had all my eggs in one basket, and that's my fault. That's totally my fault. But at the last 3 minutes, just my heart out, and here I am, and I'm down. I'm down very bad today.
Yeah,
Timberwolves K.
It's one of those. I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier. I don't want to hammer home too much on Minnesota sports plays. Just aren't it. Like, I would like to think that you're old enough or have lived here long enough to understand that that's not the play. If you're Cam, you're still going to throw money on Minnesota sports.
Let's fucking go.
He wins everything else for some reason. He's also super pumped that we're all turning into NASCAR guys as well too, which that was a fucking blast this weekend. Like, I've never really gotten into NASCAR, but I was at the bar. They turned it off the TV in front of me. I was like, come on, man, I gotta clean this back up. Raced home just to watch the final 5 laps, to watch me win on one bet, lose on the other. NASCAR's fucking sick. We're gonna have to keep watching that shit, or at least get together, do a live show or something like that. Yeah. Anyways, fuck Cam. Mike, grievance.
Man, I love the XFL, but the one team that I picked to be my favorite team just might be the worst part of the XFL right now in the Vegas Vipers. Through 2 games, they've tried multiple quarterbacks. They have no one on the roster capable of throwing a forward pass. So I bet on them week 1 or both weeks. They got an unreal backdoor cover week 1, and then this week went up 6-0 and then gave up 18 unanswered points to end the game. And they were favored by 3 on the road. They're favored by 3 and couldn't get the job done. And they just looked god-awful. A lot of those teams are struggling to score points. But Vegas just makes it, if you're going to watch an XFL game, you're trying to get into it, don't watch the Vegas Vipers.
I do welcome you to watch the Battlehawks with me. They have been probably one of the more exhilarating teams that have been in there. AJ McCarron's a stud. It was crazy. I went into that because I only picked them because they got a dope ass logo. I think they definitely have the best logo in the entire league. But yeah, dude, dive into the Battlehawks. Both games they've had have been super tight at the very, very end. It's been an absolute blast to watch. So I think that's when you ride. It's XFL team. Sammy, what's your team?
I don't have one. I need to get one.
Oh shit! So we gotta pick you out. And
Renzi, you're the Battlehawks.
Yeah, you're Vegas, aren't? Oh, you were Battlehawks too.
Yeah.
Josie, XFL team.
Vipers.
Okay.
We're ripping a game when we head to Vegas here in about 2 weeks. So
fuck yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Who are they playing? Do you know?
No clue. I was just informed that we are going instead of golfing, which I wanted to golf over that, but I don't call the shots around here. So. I'm still excited though. It's gonna be awesome. I'm excited. I just hope they can actually put some points on the board.
Pull out the W. Sammy, let's dive to you, man. Grievance. What do you got?
Oof. Well, last night was I took the Clippers second half plus 8.5. Looked to be a good line for me. I kind of like having the points in my pocket here, especially with Kawhi, PG, Westbrook now, who's brand new on there. They played the second half really neck and neck with Denver. And then the game went to overtime and they lost by 10. So my 8.5 doesn't get home. So the Clippers, that was a real bummer. I think they scored 4 points in the 5-minute overtime. They couldn't do anything right. They ended up pulling starters like halfway through. Just brutal stuff. And I don't typically bet the NBA just because some of the swings are so crazy. And, you can be up 20 in the first quarter and then you could be losing at halftime. It's kind of a joke. And so as far as the betting side goes, I hardly do it. But last night it was just like one of those things. There was nothing else on. It was the 9:30 ESPN game. And it's like, well, shit. Okay. All right. Let me see what's up here. Unfortunately, it looked great. They had like 400 chances to like finish it in regulation and they just didn't. Of course, it goes to overtime. Nuggets get hot. They end up like sinking 3 threes back to back to back. And there goes the spread. So yeah, that's the grievance. The LA Clippers. Never again.
You know what I love about this whole bit is that like we hate these teams now, but by the time we get to like midsummer and we're like betting on like, I don't know, when we're looking at baseball and hammering the Pittsburgh Pirates week after week after week, we're going to miss these moments where like, man, really would love to lose money on the Clippers right now. Like the amount of money this show has been going around. We're coming up on a year. I wouldn't say a year now, right? I think it's going to be like July, I think is a year. And me and Renzi have lost so much fucking money on the Colorado Rockies that we're dreading baseball season coming up. They're just a permanent grievance on my end. Same with like the Steelers as well too, but that's a completely different fucking story. But yeah,
it's the first problem.
Colorado Rockies just bury us, man. Renzi boy, I'm going to dive into mine because I would need to call somebody else out on the show. One of my favorite things to do during grievances is just to shit on somebody for being a real piece of shit. And this time, it's not who you expect, Renz. It's not you.
I thought it was going to be me. I was just waiting for it.
Yeah, it's not you, Josie. Mike, you're part of it, but Sammy Stats, you're my big fucking issue here.
You piece of shit.
This scumbag, Sammy Stats, which I have dubbed, I go out, I find a bunch of crazy stats about tonight's game, Blackhawks versus the Ducks, and I noticed that 7 out of the past 10 games, one of the teams has only ever scored 2 goals, and then in the past 2 games, it's been a 3-2 total. So I'm like, all right, let's throw money on 3-2. Nice guy, Sammy Stats. Is like, you should, I think it was Sammy who said, you can tell me if I'm wrong here, Mike. This might have been you too. He's like, let's flip this. You should just bet the other side of it as well too, because it's not going to cut into your profits too much because the payouts were plus 2,200, plus 2,100. I'm like, you know what? That is fucking smart. And so I did it. Well, 5 hours later, I'm going to the bar. It's my birthday. I'm feeling good. Daddy's about to eat a bunch of fucking steak. And I get a text. And it's fucking Sam. He's like, yo, I got the over tonight on this fucking game. I was like, you son of a bitch. You just over. It was like over 6 or something like that. I'm like, you fucking scumbag. I just literally, you helped me throw a bunch of money out of 3-2 total. Like, I'm going to take the over. This guy's an idiot. Fuck him.
Hey, the 3-2 totals can work. They can go.
But here's the deal. I respect the fade. I don't want you to fade in my fucking face. That's where my issue lies. I don't want you to tell me that you hate my guts. Like that pisses me off.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's gonna be 3-2 Ducks tonight, and then we, happy birthday to you. I'll take the loss.
Whatever. No, it's definitely not gonna, because I think Mike, I think you
won't.
followed in his trail too. You're as big of a rat as well too. You're like, fuck yeah, I like that.
You know
over
who?
as well.
You know who else immediately took that over?
Shut the fuck up. Was it you, Renzi?
Yeah.
All you
yeah,
sons of bitches. You made the list.
Yeah.
Oh, you
well,
know it's
especially
going
after
down.
your guys' whole exchange, and then when Sammy's just like, yeah, over. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think I have to.
I love the over.
Josie's
Over
pulling out his
6.
phone right now. He's like, how much are you overpaying at? he's like, I gotta hit that right now.
I would.
Yeah, look at it.
It's going to come down to that
light on his
empty net
face
goal
right
too.
now. Little
Oh,
rat.
the empty netter will play a part for sure.
Will they or will they not get it? It's going to be for the push, or it's going to hit your total, Marlo.
I'm already sweating. I don't think I'm ready for this. Radzi, let's just get to your grievance. Get it over with.
Let's get it over with. I mean, it's just hitting the same fucking points as everyone else. Minnesota sports, I mean, it's good and bad. So, like, this weekend every time I bet against the Minnesota sports teams, I fucking won. I took Nebraska -9. 9. That's a pretty big spread and fucking covers easily. Took Blue Jackets against the Wild. Covered. What else did I do? I don't even remember. But fuck, they're just pitiful. And it's just sad that you win money when you're just like, yeah, we suck. I guess bet against these fucking losers and we'll fucking win. And kind of same thing with Sammy, these games, like, so these big leads, and then you're like, I got this. And then it's like, oh, I guess I'll just go fuck myself. I mean, I don't know how you're in like the fourth quarter of any game, basketball, especially, you're up by double digits. It's like, you guys should be able to cover this fucking game, especially when you're handicapped with 6 fucking points. And just, it's exhausting. It was an exhausting, fun weekend, exhausting. I worked for all that money this weekend, and then I, like Josie, lost it all on the fucking Timberwolves. So that whole organization, just get rid of them. A-Rod, move them to like fucking wherever. I don't care. I don't like A-Rod. I don't like the Timberwolves. Target Center's a dump. Just fucking get rid of everything. It's just fucking stupid. I hate it. That's it. Sorry.
I just want to see how long you'd go. I was like, yeah, you might just keep riding. Like, slip into a deep dark depression in front of all of us.
It was, though, on the other side, I bet Michigan to beat Wisconsin. They were 5.5 favorites, and they were down. It was like a 2-point game with like a minute left. I'm like, oh, this is fucking over. And then I just stopped watching it, and then all of a sudden I got an alert saying I won the bet because it went to overtime. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. So it goes both ways sometimes, I guess. But
I think I got to add something in here as well to like a personal grievance myself. I think I need to stop betting prop bets. Prop bets are ones where I am probably the most confident. I usually am always all about it. Last night I had a bet on Ryan O'Reilly just to get a single assist because he's been absolutely buzzing in Toronto is nasty this year, and they ended up putting up 5-1. Who bet $100 here? Someone in our chat bet $100 on the fucking on Seattle. Am I wrong on that one, or did I hit? Yeah, you're a lunatic. If you would have just I know I'm gonna say something stupid, and you're gonna shit on my throat. I'm like, if you would have just asked me who I think is gonna win, I would have been like Toronto, 100%. They Seattle took home the last game, but otherwise Toronto has dominated them. But they've had some great fucking games. Over was smart as shit. You taking Seattle, I thought was bold, especially
if I would have hit my big bets this weekend, I'd be up thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
We're talking
every money I won, I fucking lost on that Kraken game, the Wolves game. The only big bet I hit was that Celtics game, and that was a sweat. That barely hit. So
that was scary for a little bit.
Yeah, just every fucking big. It's like they know. It's crazy. It's fucking like I said. These little $10, $20, here and there, all day, just hitting. It's like, yep, $100 on the fucking Kraken. There was plus 300 or something. It could happen, and they did. They scored right away, and I'm
scored first.
Yeah, I'm a millionaire. This is over. And then I think they lost 5-1 or 4-1 or something.
Yeah, it's 5-1. Yeah,
it sucked because we took the over. A couple guys took the over 6, and there's like 4 goals in the first period. I'm like, oh, this is laughable. Like this is the biggest,
that's crazy.
This is the biggest win I've ever had. And then there's just 1 goal in the second and 1 in the third, and it pushes. I'm like, what a crock.
I know. I felt really bad too because I threw that out there initially. I was like, you guys got to look at the over because like I think it was like first game they played against each other, it was like 8 goals. Second game was like 9 goals or something like that. And the third game I think it was like 6. I'm like, this seems like the safest over of all time. And I got to call out Goose here as well too, as he's fucking talking about Renzi going scorched earth on the Wolves. It feels like it's straight out of your Twitter account there, Goose. Fucking, I don't think I've ever seen. Nobody would vibe more on the show about hating Minnesota sports than Goose there. It's crazy. But no, prop bets are ones that I keep getting burned on because I keep throwing. My issue is I'll throw like a little chunk on a lot of these other bets, and I went 1 in 5, but I throw the most amount of money on props, and I'm confident, and I never fucking hit them ever. And even the Ryan O'Reilly one from last night, I was like, it's a lock. His line is sick, and sure as shit, you look at the scoreboard, he's out there for like 3 of the goals, but like just didn't have a piece of it at all. Just I don't know, fucks me. I don't know. Hockey sucks. I hate hockey.
It does.
Stupid. Why do people watch that dumb sport?
It's so hard to bet on. I never win on hockey ever.
Mm-hmm.
But unless you bet against Fleury and the Wild. Like I said, that's the reason why I ended up going with the Blue Jackets because I looked at it and it's like, yeah, Fleury's in the net. I'm like, oh yeah, we're covering 1.5 if not winning this fucking game. Mm-hmm. That guy's a psycho.
I've actually been taking the Wild unders recently, like the last 3 or 4 games. Wild unders, man, are
and 10 games for
like blowout winners too. They're like it's like 2-0 at the end of the second period or 1-1 going into the third, and it's like wow, these are extremely easy. Now, of course, I say this, and they'll probably 5-3 the next game or something, but. I mean, I would definitely look into those Wild unders. I mean, good goaltending with Gustafsson right now. Fairly solid defense, and it's great because like half the time we can't score. So it's like, oh, under 5.5, under 6, give me it.
Mike.
Yeah.
I know what you probably just heard was, hey, that's great advice. Like I might have to watch that going forward. Do you know what I fucking heard? I heard a bunch of information that doesn't hit the group chat that has never been fucking talked about. Like, hey, we should be looking at unders, guys. And Josie's just like, yeah, no, I've won a lot of money on that.
I thought it was common knowledge.
Motherfucker, no, we're all drowning over here.
I need it more than anyone. I need it more than anyone here. I know.
Yeah, we got to get you out of this sad boy better bit. Like it's emo Josie.
I'm getting better tonight. I got a lot of things going tonight, and I'm about to start double screening here in a little bit. I'm excited to just and watch all my money go down the fucking toilet.
Keep your eyes peeled for our next like little graphic or a little bit we throw up on the accounts where it's just Josie listening to MCR or just like giving out a sports picks, but just says really sad like, I'm gonna throw like $50 on the Timberwolves. It's the saddest sports betting bit of all fucking time. Like, it's crazy. I don't think you've ever been happy on this show.
No. No. Maybe initially, but once we start getting into the past traumas of losing all this money I've worked hard for.
I bet I'm definitely gonna be listening to you when golf comes rolling around as well too. Like that's one that I'm super excited to bet on. I'm gonna be watching a ton of it as well too. Last episode, this is not sports betting related, but I started watching that Full Swing on Netflix. Holy shit, is that good? The only bad thing, and I texted this to the group, was literally episode 1 was one where I lost a fuck ton of money. I remember specifically, I bet a ton of money on Mito Pereira or whatever. And then I also had money on Zalatoris, and sure as shit, Justin Thomas, spoiler alert, ends up winning the whole thing. And it was because I was asking Boss Man. I was like, yo, throw me some picks. And he's like, you should bet JT and you should bet Zalatoris on day 1. They played like crap. Lit it up on day 2. And then when I didn't bet them, and then I was like, oh, Mito's in the lead by like a lot, and his action still looked great. And so I threw a bunch of money on Mito. And that's when we hit that little creek on hole 18 and bogeyed, just missed out entirely on the playoff, let alone winning the whole thing. It was just, it was like a double bogey or something. Because he just needed a par to win.
It was hard to watch.
Oh, I was at my work desk. It was on my computer. I was like, what is happening right now? I'm like stress sweating and stress eating. And everyone's like, hey, we got work to do. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm busy. Just crazy. But
no, that doc is really good though. The doc
is phenomenal. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, MGM has a line for Josie at -300 be +2 in the first 9 tonight.
Poultry and I are good pals, and we are scheduling a PGA game tonight. And I kicked his ass the last 5 times we played. So I it's not gonna happen, Kyle. It's not gonna happen.
Mike, I gotta ask you, do you have any weird sports that you like to bet on? That's like a sneaky one that you like to get in on?
I mean, the XFL is probably the weirdest one right now. And if I go down the path and go to the USFL or the one that Renzi brought up, the Italian Football League, put me on watch. I love football. I'll bet any league out there, maybe some CFL in the summer. So yeah, maybe keep an eye out me for that. Like not weird sports, but definitely weird leagues.
What are the lines like? Is it just, like I feel like even like the odds makers are like, fuck, I don't know, these guys suck. Like just -100 +100, just like keep it as flat as they possibly can. Or do you actually get some good action? You're just watching diet football. That's what you're doing. It's I always wonder what those lines are like. I'll have to keep my eyes peeled for that this summer.
That Italian Football League, I was like really excited when I found out about it. And I looked at the teams. I don't want to discriminate against like Italians, but I was hoping it'd be like the Marios and like all these Italian names, like the Sicilian Warriors or something like that, or like the Pasta Boys. And it was just the same loser names, like the Wolverines and the Tigers. It's like how is that Italian at all? Like give me like the Doughboys, like the Pizza Doughboys or something. I don't know. I was hoping for something like if you're in an Italian football league, you got to come up with something juicy to make it like funny and interesting. And like I said, if that's offensive to Italian people, I'm sorry, but
problematic. I think I'm gonna get out of here and I'm gonna immediately draw up a Sicily Pasta Boys like just logo, and we'll make our own t-shirts for that shit. That'd be
sick. Like think how many people would buy like something like that, or like watch like tonight we got like the Pasta Boys against the Gondola guys or whatever. Like what are those guys called? Yeah, something like that. It'd be sick. But no, it's the same lame names as everyone else. Like I said, like in the XFL team names, like I said, we got the Roughnecks and or someone asks, is there XFL tonight? I'm like, yeah, it's the Rednecks and the Roughnecks or something. I'm like, yeah, it's like a fucking Post Malone album. Like, who came up with these names? Let's come up with something original.
Yeah. I love the absurdity that Renzi's just like, how dare these guys not lead into their stereotypes?
Exactly. That's what I would do.
On a national scale. Like, what the hell, guys?
That's what I wish like the XFL would do. Like, come up with some like funny names like the minor league baseball teams. Like, I don't know, separate yourself a little bit, but lame team names.
Yeah, it's tough, but all right, boys. Any action that you guys are eyeing up over this next week as well? So anything you guys are excited for? Typically at the end here, we do a bet of the week or one that we're looking for before we lead up to our Thursday show, which by the way, if this is your first time tuning in, Mondays, Thursdays, we will be here. We will continue to have this show. Head over to YouTube, head over to Facebook, like, smash, subscribe, comment along. Like I said, Goose has been throwing out some fucking fire in here as well, too, buying 4 of the Palermo Pasta Boys shirt locked in. We love that. But any bets that you guys are loving from this upcoming week? I'm sure Sammy Stas get his with 19 of them like he did last time. Fire away. What do we got, boys?
So smaller card this week.
We're doing 12. All right, here we go.
We have the Arnold Palmer. So back to golf. I'm typically all over golf. And we're going Colin Morikawa, top 20. We're going to go Sam Burns, top 20. I love these top 20s because they're like great golfers and you get them right around like -110, -120 odds.
Not bad.
So those two, I like Jordan Spieth, and he's actually like +160, 175, something like that. And then my last one, I am going with Cam Young, and he is like +300 or something. So I got 2 that are kind of like pick'ems, and then the other 2 are a little more of like good value for the tournament. I can't pick an outright because there's like 40 guys that could win, and it just seems to be tough. I mean, if you were to definitely pick one, it'd be Rory McIlroy or Jon Rahm, maybe Scotty Scheffler, but other than those 3, I'm not going to play any outrights, but just those 4 top 20s are my play of the weeks.
Love that. Any plans to like parlay any of those bad boys as well too, especially with those odds to get a good
Yeah,
payout?
you definitely can. I would, if you were going to do that, I would recommend doing the minus 120s, just because they're, Sam Birds are more likely to hit than parlaying it into plus, 170s, 175s. But yeah, I mean, you definitely could, if you want to get frisky with it, throw $10, $20 on it. I definitely support it.
Yeah, Renz likes to get a little horny, so that might be the play there. Big
You're
horny.
fucking A, right?
Boys, anybody else got any plays for this week? Mikey, what you got?
Yeah, so tonight, actually, 8 o'clock, we got Baylor versus Oklahoma State. I'm going under 142. So, yeah, everyone always wants to bet the overs. We don't like betting unders, but there's a lot of value on the unders in college basketball, especially in those Power 5 conferences. So I got that, and then I got a future bet for you. NHL trade deadline going on this week. The Patty Kane deal has not gone through yet, so the odds can only come down so much on the Rangers. They were at 15-1 last week. They're at 11-1 now. So get that before it dips below 10-1, because that Patty Kane deal is coming, and they're going to be, 5, 6, 7-1 after that. So yeah, Rangers at 11-1 right now, plus 1100. That's my other bet of the week.
I don't want to bounce off that, but that's also might be a reason why I talked about how I want to throw a Boston future on this one as well too, because I think this is Boston's. Boston's been in a situation where they need to win like soon because their players are only getting older and they're running out of time, and their contracts are running out as well too. So it's this year basically is their final year. Maybe I wait till after the Rangers because I feel like that's going to bump back up Boston's odds. So something to consider.
East
That's
is
gonna be
a
mine.
dog.
I'm gonna throw in there. East is a wagon.
It's a
We had a talk in the Wild Takes chat, and they're like, I think it was Voss was asking. She's like, who do we like this year? I'm like, I don't like a single team from the West, like straight up. I haven't liked a single team from the West all year, but East I had like 4 or 5 picks. I'm like, they're gonna be good.
Carolina's really solid too. One team that might not get a lot of talk, really, really solid, super good at home. I know that the last playoff series they were in with, I believe it was New York, both teams were winning at home each game. Like nobody stole a road game. And I could see that being similar this year. I mean, the East is just so good. And at home, it's like almost untouchable.
Yeah, Carolina's defensive depth is just out of this world. Offensive defensive depth is just bonkers as well too. Josie, you got one. What you got, baby?
Tomorrow, Minnesota Twins over the Atlanta Braves spring training game. Let's go. Let's ride, Minnesota Nation. Let's go.
I get why you're sad all the time. You want to stay sad. Did you not listen to anything
I'm
we
so
talked
comfortable being sad. I don't know what it's like to be happy anymore.
about?
Josie, you got a line on that?
No, hell no.
Okay.
No. I
Does
look
anybody?
at
Yeah.
no. It's likely gonna be plus 120, 130. The Braves are the better team compared to the Twins. I think it's a split squad game tomorrow too. Anyway, so.
Sure.
I feel like here's how I picture this is gonna go down. Right, the odds are gonna come out. Hold on, everyone, shut your eyes. Picture this. Josie's gonna walk up to the front desk. Right, he goes, "I want to throw like $100 on the Twins," and the person who's taking that bet is gonna be like, "Are you fucking sure?" And he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "You guys like
You want to do that?
He's like, "We're not in regular season, right? Like you actually want to do this?" And Joe's like, "Yeah, no, yeah. I was just listening to My Chemical Romance in the car. I'm ready to fucking cry a little bit. Let's do this. Let's add on to the paint." And then the guys will be like, "All right, I guess, yeah. I'll just cool, sure. You're the only person who's placed this bet today, like, or maybe in the entire world, just crazy."
I'm sure.
Josie, you're a dipshit. I love having you on here, but you're a dipshit.
He holds the winners close to his chest. Swears out the losers,
Well, I guess we can call it for that episode as well too. Unless Renzi, boy, you got some action for this week.
The over tonight that won't be mentioned.
I gotta say too, I thought when Mike was like, "I got one for tonight," I was like, he's gonna double down and just fucking shit on me again talking about this over, and I'm gonna be miserable.
Yeah, no, the over not to be mentioned. Clippers minus 6.5 against the Timberwolves. We know that. And then I'm actually gonna do a golf bet too for the Arnold Palmer. I'm taking Will Zalatoris plus 2,400 to win it. He's back on his bullshit where he's always in the mix but never finishes. at some point this year, he's going to win one of these fucking things.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
it's going to
but
cash out.
I feel like we're gonna have to wait for like a few more of these before he finally hits it. That's how it's gonna be. He's gonna trickle around 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he'll hit it as out of nowhere. When you're just that's how it works with Zalatoris. So you're like oh, I'm finally gonna give up on him, and that's when he fucking bangs it home. So
Yeah.
That's cool. What do you say? 2,400? Pretty good value.
that is
Yeah.
very good. Value.
Yeah, I mean, you throw $10-20 on it. I mean,
Yeah. It's like 500.
yeah, cover my golf bets for sure. The rest, and then I'll put it all on like the Twins money line with Joe. We'll be texting, and he'll be like, "Yep, Twins money line." I'll be like, "Yep,
yeah, hell yeah.
I'm loaded." So yeah.
All right, boys. I think we can call it for that episode as well, too. I wanted to thank Mikey, first episode in. We appreciate the input you got, as always. Ladies and gentlemen, any of you guys that tuned in, any of you guys participated, this was probably the most active that we've had the chat. We honestly do appreciate it. We want you guys involved. We want to talk to you guys. The whole point of the show is to either grieve like Josie or celebrate like Renzi's big weekend or listen to Sammy give out 17 bets at the end of the show that you can't even write down quick enough to even hammer them. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in to another one. We will see you guys on Thursday, where we will preview some bets for the weekend as well, too. Maybe talk a little bit of golf and then talk a little bit of XFL. We'll find a bunch of stuff to hit it with you guys with. But I am Marlo, Mikey Boy, Sammy Stats, Josie, and Renzi Boy. We want to thank you guys and hope you guys have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your week. We love you. Thank you.